The sun beats down on the beautiful countries of Central America. The warm and bountiful waters of Central America nurture a host of creatures, from large mammals to unique underwater marine life. The jungles and deserts of the region also support a great variety of uniquely evolved natural wonders. This land is like a great bridge connecting the ecosystems of the north with those of the south. The Yucatan Peninsula juts out into the sea, like a great partition separating North and South America. Taking up the southeastern part of the peninsula, the country of Belize faces the beautiful, warm waters of the Caribbean Sea. Unfolding in the blue waters off the coast is the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System, which extends for more than 260 kilometers. The largest coral reef in the Northern Hemisphere, the Belize Barrier Reef System is an oceanic paradise full of an extraordinary variety of marine life. Water temperatures remain above 20 degrees Celsius throughout the year in these coral-rich waters. Corals are cnidarians, a phylum of marine animals characterized by their stinging tentacles. This phylum also includes such marine life as sea anemone and jellyfish. Algae, which are aquatic organisms, provide nutrition to coral reefs by carrying out photosynthesis. This seaweed-like undulating life form is referred to as a soft coral. There are two types of coral: hard coral, which has a hard skeleton, and soft coral, which does not. The Caribbean Sea is unique in the world for its great variety of soft corals, presenting the diver with scenes not visible anywhere else on Earth. Stretching just off the coast of Belize, the long coral reef sits like a great underwater wall, separating land from the sea. Coral reefs which form along coastlines like this one are referred to as barrier reefs. The Belize Barrier Reef is the second largest barrier reef on the planet, following Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Because coral reefs support a great variety of marine life, they are sometimes referred to as the tropical rainforests of the sea. Indeed, many aquatic animals, including fish, benefit greatly from the effects of coral reefs. This nurse shark is 2 meters in length and very gentle. The Nassau grouper, a grouper fish, is indigenous to the waters of the Caribbean. Another indigenous species to the Caribbean Sea is the French angelfish, which, as its name suggests, is part of the angelfish family. The Belize coral reef seems to stretch on endlessly. Underwater, one happens upon all sorts of mysterious scenes. This is called a blue hole. It is a gigantic sinkhole at the bottom of the sea. The blue hole has a diameter of 318 meters and a depth of 135 meters. One cannot help but wonder how or why such a huge sinkhole could have developed at the bottom of the sea. The key to understanding the reason lies hidden in the depths of the blue hole. The hole itself is more than 100 meters deep. Descending into the hole, on the rock walls of the sinkhole, we see hints that indicate something of the geological factors that produce this phenomenon. About 40 meters down, we encounter stalactite formations. This huge subterranean cave was formed around 20,000 years ago during the last ice age, when the surface of the ocean was 100 meters lower than it is today. At that time, the limestone terrain experienced erosive processes, which produced what became a huge cave. It is thought that the cave became vertical after the ceiling fell off. Then, approximately 16,000 years ago, when the ice age ended and the sea levels rose, all this went underwater. Stalactite cannot form in seawater. These formations, which are quite large, must have taken many tens of thousands of years to complete. A tremendous vertical cave, it lies quietly at the bottom of the sea, a reminder that all this was once part of the land. Scattered in the waters around the reef are approximately 400 scattered coral atolls, called keys. One of the most famous of these keys is Half Moon Key. The forested areas of the island serve as a huge breeding ground for birds. Red-footed boobies are large-sized seabirds, 70 to 80 centimeters in length. This red-footed booby is roosting its eggs to keep them warm. The magnificent frigate birds have distinctive red throat pouches. The rich ocean waters nurture not only marine life, but bird life as well. A mangrove forest covers Half Moon Key. Mangrove trees are able to grow along the seashore by filtering out the salt out of the seawater through their leaves. The roots of mangrove trees spread in the water like an underwater jungle. Large creatures are unable to swim in these shallow waters, making it an ideal refuge for small fish. Some unique creatures inhabit these waters. This is the upside-down jellyfish. This creature, a short-nosed batfish, belongs to the Lophidae family. They swim by moving their pectoral and pelvic fins like legs. Belize's coral reef system is an important refuge for many endangered species. American manatees are mammals that mainly eat seaweed, such as eelgrass. Manatees must come up to the water's surface to breathe about once every 5 minutes. This manatee must have finished eating and is now sleeping with its face buried in the soft mud. Seaweed, which manatees thrive on, is only able to grow in clean, shallow waters, like the waters of Belize. This is one reason why the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System is the world's largest refuge of American manatees. With its stunning atolls and rich marine life, the Belize Barrier Reef System is a spectacular natural wonder in the pristine, warm waters of the Caribbean Sea. Cuba is often called the Pearl of the Caribbean. A long, narrow island, Cuba extends 1,200 kilometers from east to west and is the largest island in the Caribbean Sea. In the eastern part of this mostly flat country, approximately 800 kilometers east of the capital of Havana, is a chain of 1,000-meter-high mountains. Located amongst these mountains and extending out toward the coast is Cuba's Alejandro de Humboldt National Park, which occupies approximately 700 square kilometers. Here, in the thick forest surrounded by mountains, various species of rare animals and plants can be found. This area lies in the subtropical climate zone and supports a wide variety of vegetation. The forests of Alejandro de Humboldt National Park are full of colorful birds. Cuba's national bird is the tocororo, or Cuban trogon. Endemic to Cuba, it has striking red, blue, and white wings, colors which were adopted for the Cuban flag. The Cuban tody is the same size as a sparrow. This colorful bird, one of the famous birds of Cuba, is also endemic to this area. This is a Cuban crow. As many as 95 species of birds, ranging from endemic species to migratory birds, have been confirmed in the park. These are mangrove trees. White rock stands out against the dark hills adjacent to the mangrove forest. This white rock is limestone. Up until some 40 million years ago, this entire area was at the bottom of the sea. Cuba is, therefore, composed of limestone formed from coral reefs of the ocean. The island was at one time connected to the South American continent, and it is thought to have separated from the continent due to a great rise in sea levels several million years ago. Cuba, long isolated from the mainland, has evolved in many unique ways. There is a place in the park where one can see rocks with distinct patterns. Called serpentine rock, they are metamorphic rocks from the Earth's mantle. This rock is rarely found on the Earth's surface, and due to certain toxic minerals present in serpentine rock, the surrounding soil is not suitable for plant life. Dracaena cubensis, however, have adapted themselves to be able to grow here. This species has adapted leaves that can store more water than similar species growing elsewhere. These are poinsettias. The red flowers are actually not flowers, but red leaves. The plant's flowers are the tiny yellow blossoms in the center. The surface of their small but thick leaves include a wax component that prevents moisture from evaporating. There are other species of plants in the park that have adapted themselves to the deficiency in nutrients by obtaining what nutrients they need in very different and unique ways. These are carnivorous plants, which catch, kill, and digest insects to obtain nutrition. Butterwort, which has flowers resembling violets, is one of the carnivorous plants in the park. The plant produces small flowers that are less than 1 centimeter in diameter. Its leaves have minute hairs covered with mucilage. This sticky substance catches insects and digests them with the aid of digestive enzymes. The island's distinctive environment has propagated a unique evolution in plants and animals. There are several species of animals that can only be found in Cuba. This frog, belonging to the Eleutherodactylus family, has a unique life cycle. When hatching out of its egg, instead of being born as a tadpole, this creature is born as a frog. This tiny frog, resting on a fallen leaf, is less than 1 centimeter long. Eleutherodactylus iberia is considered to be the smallest frog in the world. This new species was only discovered in 1996. There is another unique creature under the fallen leaves. Its appearance resembles that of a scorpion, but is of a completely different and new variety. Called a vinegaroon, it does not have poison, but rather protects itself by emitting a mist from the base of its tail. There is also a rich variety of creatures that make their homes beneath the surface of the earth in the park. These underground creatures include bees that make nests underground. Interesting reptiles are also found in the park as well. A member of the iguana family, this reptile is an Anolis barracoa and is equipped with specialized toe pads that enable it to stick to even the very tips of leaves. Some 83% of the unique reptiles that have been confirmed in the park are endemic to Cuba. Another unique creature of Cuba's Alejandro de Humboldt National Park are its snails. This snail on the leaf is a baby snail, which is also indigenous to Cuba. Since the migration range of the snail family is extremely restricted, snails are classified by area. As many as 2,000 types of snails have been found that are endemic to Cuba. This park is also the habitat of what is considered one of the world's most beautiful snails. This is a Cuban polymita. It is nibbling on some mold growing on a leaf. The natural enemies of snails are birds. Why, then, are they so colorful? Their coloring seems to be a disadvantage to their survival, and indeed, the answer remains one of the many unsolved mysteries of the forest. The Alejandro de Humboldt National Park possesses what is truly uniquely evolved flora and fauna. In this vast park, there remain many creatures that have yet to be studied. This island